What's good, everyone? This is the Green Bomber coming at you with some explosive soldering here. So, there's not really a whole lot out there about, videos and making input displays. So, I figured, why not put up a video here? I'm going to be working on an NES input display. And we're gonna see if I have enough time to do two of them. That'd be awesome. But if not, it is what it is. But I'm gonna try to go in and I'm gonna try to do at least one of them here. And I've got this layout set up here. So up in the top left corner, you have basically the corresponding pins that are gonna line up with a colored cord that's gonna be on your controller. So let's just start from the top and kind of just try to cover it all. There's a lot going on here. It's pretty complicated stuff, but I'm gonna try to simplify it and at least have like this video out there so that you can follow along and try to get everything going. So when you're making an input display, and you're probably doing it because you're streaming or you want to have input display on your capture to your computer, so you're gonna need a handful of things to go with that. So I'm gonna cover everything you're gonna need here. So we're gonna start with that. So first of all, you're gonna need to get an extension cable for whichever controller you're trying to get an input display for, and you're probably going to want to have two of these. You're going to want one for a backup to find out, because most likely you're going to have to open up the front here. You're going to have to open this up, and you're going to have to find out, like straight from the source, what color cords are going to match up. So like here, you have 7 pinouts here, which is also displayed up in the top left. So on the NES you have 7. So those are all very crucial to know which one is which. I mean, there's a couple of different ways you can do that. I just take pliers and I open it up here. The NES one's actually very easy. It has this like square piece right here, and if you just take like either something just kind of, there's a line that runs down the middle, so you're gonna need to take either pliers or something like that and open it up and get a look at what you've got going. So first of all, you're gonna need an extension cable. That is the most important thing, because that's what basically you're going to be doing. The second thing you're going to need, and second other thing that's most important here, you're going to need a board here, an Arduino board. I use Arduino Nanos. Some of the other boards also work, but I'm going to be using an Arduino Nano board. It's going to come like this when you order it. So let me just open that up and give you a look here. You're not going to need any of these other things that are in the this is for you to solder it on. They give you these to solder it on to use the board for other means, but we don't need any of the things we don't need any of these pins for the board. We just want the board itself. So an Arduino Nano board is going to look like that, and these are what I use to make input displays. And it's got I can't remember what the I think it's not a micro. I think it's like a USB C port. So you're going to need a USB to like mini C, like a phone, type thing to plug in here. and you're gonna need one that goes into the computer. So it's, I mean, when it's all hooked up, like this is the PC Engine one that I have all set up. You've got it plugged in, and it's running into the computer by a plug here, which I just made the PC Engine display about a week ago or so. I got that one running and going, so I feel pretty confident with my skills here soldering. But yeah, just bear with me because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's not like a solid video tutorial out there, and basically all input displays are pretty similar. You just need to find out what, I mean, some are going to be easier than others. This is going to be a pretty complex, and it's got 7 pins. So it's going to be a pretty complicated one. There's 7 pins we got to worry about. The GameCube one, for example, only has 3 pins, and is probably the easiest. Like, if you're going to start with one, you might want to start with something like the GameCube, just to get, you know, a good feel for it, because there's only 3 pins, and you only need, like, one of them you just tape with electrical tape, which is another thing you're going to need, is electric tape to block the, so once we expose the wires, we're going to need to use a tape on it so that they don't cross, and we cover that up. So far we have the extension cables, that's number 1. The Arduino Nano board, that's number 2. And then we need the plug that goes into here to the computer, that's number 3. Then you're going to need your soldering iron. I just got a really nice one here. It has LED lights on the inside of here, but you just want to have a small tip. I have a couple of different available tips. I have this one as well. It's a bit thicker, but just any like skinny tip will work. So you're gonna need that, and you're gonna need something like a surface to solder. Like me, I'm pretty ghetto, so what I do is I just use like my 2020 employee benefits guide. I just use this as a surface, and I solder onto this. So, and it's gonna be a pretty pretty interesting solder job here, because I don't use a whole lot. And then you're gonna need some electrical wire. I use the one with the rosin. This is like 60/40 rosin here. That's going to be important. We're going to get into that when we start soldering, but the rosin is basically what's going to help it stick. If you don't have a good rosin, then optional, and I actually highly recommend that you get some flux. The flux that I have looks like this. So I can get it up there. I can't really get into focus, but let me just kind of show you. It's the kind of, it's like a waxy substance. Looks like that. So you're gonna need that. You don't need it. It's an optional thing, and if something goes wrong, this is gonna be a game changer for you. Hopefully, you know, we don't end up actually needing this, but if we do, you want to take, you're gonna want like let's see what we got. You're gonna want a Q-tip like this, and you're gonna want to run it in there, and you're gonna rub it across the copper to get it into that sticky state. You're gonna need something to cut the wires with, so here I have an electric wire cutter. You don't necessarily need this for, you know, you could do it with scissors, you could do it with a lot of other, you know, stuff. You could do it with a knife, you could do it with, you know, whatever you can cut wire with, but this is pretty standard here, the wire cutters. I showed the electric tape. That it's pretty much the basics. I would also recommend having a cold beer, which I'm cracking open right now, because this is going to be a pretty stressful job. High life, you know, is the way to go. But today we got some Heineken. We're gonna be cracking that bad boy. To get in our mental state here. So what I did is on the left side here, I set up some splits to kind of go over the steps here, and I'm going to time myself, and I have enough. Hopefully, I have enough time to make two, and I can do two input displays here, and we'll just go step by step, and I'll try to really explain what's going on as it happens. I pretty much showed you the basics on what you're going to need. There's some other stuff, like I use toothpicks to kind of like help separate the wires and other kind of stuff. With my soldering kit, I got this really nice sort of let's see if I can find it here. This like thing that helps you set the the electrical wire, like all the stuff on there, and you can also use this for various things, but I haven't really made too much use of it yet, but we'll see if we get into that. Oh yeah, rolling deep. Oh yeah. So, I mean, without further ado, let's just go ahead and pretty much start this timer and go through this here. We're making an NES input display, so if there's any other requests on, like, I'm actually I'm looking to do a Sega Saturn input display. That's on my list here. I was gonna make a GameCube input display for my friend, so maybe I could do a video of that, and that could be like a really short and condensed video. And a very simple one, because like I said, the GameCube one only has 3 pins, so that's going to be a lot easier. Yeah, just get a nice sip of that beer in here, because this is going to be a doozy here. This is not like it's not like if I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna simplify it, and it's gonna make it easy, and it's gonna be so easy when you go to do it yourself. But I just gotta get myself into the game, you know, in the zone. So I can get this input display made for my boy Blunt Bunny. So yeah, I mean, I got a few extra. So in case something goes wrong, I got a couple of extra Arduino boards. I've got some other ones that have kind of messed with. They're kind of, they may have like bad rosin, bad connections. So, and it could be bad. Like this one in here has one of the I think it's D4 or D3 was bad on this board, and it wasn't picking up. So we'll see if I come across any issues. Hopefully not too many, but I'm sure some stuff is going to come up. So yeah, let's like I said, let's start the timer and go over step number 1. So step number 1, so I start the timer here. Let's fire it up. So you're gonna get your you're gonna get your extension cable here. I think I believe I bought the same brand, and I've already cracked one open. So I'm gonna take a look at that, but there's no guarantees. I might have to crack this bad boy. But the one that I have that's open here, see if I can give you a look. You're basically, so here's the one that I just got. Here's the one that I've had for a while, and I've already made an attempt earlier. But what I did was I took some pliers here, and I opened up the square piece right here, and I exposed the colors on the wires. So let's see if I can get a solid. That was gonna get close up here. So you have like a blue and orange yellow, blue, orange, yellow, red, black, green, and gray wire. And there's also, like, I think with this, like, you'll notice when I open it up here, I think there's like this other wire. You don't need that one. We'll be cutting that one off. So let's just go ahead and do step number 1. And we want to cut the extension cable here. So for this one, you want to leave yourself at least about 6 inches one way or another from the top. The more room you give yourself, the more room for error you're gonna have. So if I screw up, I can cut further and further down. So for this one right here, I think I'm gonna cut it, I don't know, about 10 inches, 12 inches, something like that. Just be on a little safe side here, but you know, I don't know, like the shorter the connection, you know, to me is probably the better because less input delay, which you're probably only going to get. You're probably not even going to get any input delay. If it's going to be so minuscule, like you won't even notice. But like, yeah, I mean, we're gonna cut to about here. So I'm gonna cut the extension cable. So now I have, let's see, this is the male end of it. This is the male side, and I have about that much wiring right there. And I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna trim the other one down a little bit. So right now I have about, like, it's coming up here. I'm gonna do about the same. I'm actually gonna see if I can get the exact same amount and try to, like, see if I can, like, so somewhere around, like, right around here. Get these about an even distance apart. So now you have excess wire that I don't need. I'm going to go ahead and throw that away. And boom, baby! That's split number 1. Oh yeah! Fucking drank some beer to that, baby! Woo! It's pretty straightforward. Here's where things get a little bit more precise here. So I don't want to cut all the way through on this time. So at this point, I'm going to want to cut maybe about to here. You can give yourself as much room as you feel like you want or need. At the end of it, you'll be clipping the excess copper that you don't need anyway, but I'm gonna go about right here. I'm gonna do it evenly on both ends. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna apply as much pressure here, and I'm gonna kind of like let's see how, I mean, I'm gonna slightly press down on the clamp here, and I'm going to just kind of spin it around a little bit and get it to kind of cut through the first layer of the wire here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see if I can get the camera to go down a little bit so I can catch that action. So I'm going to go about right here. So you don't want to cut all the way through, and you want to be kind of a little bit careful, but you do need to apply some pressure here to get it. And once you kind of get a nice little circle around it, like you kind of like, it's kind of like nibbling into the wire a little bit, then you're going to want to start to try to like pull off like that, and that's when you know you got it right there. It's going to go, and then you can pull this casing off. And now we've exposed all of our color wires here, which looks like it's the same exact extension cable as the other one, so I'll be able to go off of that one. We have no red in this. Let's see. We've got like a purple Yeah, this could be different altogether. What I may need to do is go ahead and pop the top off of this, because I think on the other one had. So you got the blue, the green; those are matching up. The purple. So maybe we just can't see as well. There's like a light purple. There is no red. It's like a light beige color, and there's like a brown. There's like a tan and a brown, which kind of complicates things a little bit further. But we'll get to that when we get to it. I'm not seeing a gray on this, which is quite interesting, because the other one has a gray wire. Interesting. So we may need to pop the other one, like I'm saying here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7. I'm trying to figure out which one the gray one might be. And there's like a brown. Okay, there's no brown on the other one. So that might be what the gray one is, but I can't really. You can't really just guess on this. You're probably not to pop open the other one. So now that I've got, I've got about this much of the wire here, which is about what I normally shoot for, and I've got it all exposed. So I could kind of go two ways. I could individually like go right now on that one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the same amount of wire on the female end of it and cut that same amount off. So I'm going to go about right here on my female end of it, and once you get that casing off, you can throw that out. So I'm going to kind of like make a little mark here for myself, line it up, get everything nice and neat. Yeah, hopefully don't have too much issue here. And this is why, like, I don't know, this is why I also suggested you probably get about 2 extension cables, so that with the first one you can, and you want to get the same brand. Like, you want to get from the same distributor, you want to get the same brand, you want to get the same, because all extension cables are, they might have different color wires. Like the ones that I'm doing, if like if you're trying to do an NES input display and you're like, okay, yeah, he put the green one through D2, so I'm gonna put the green one through D2. If you end up doing that and you're putting like the 5-volt through the board, the 5-volt you definitely do not want to have through the board. So like you're gonna maybe notice like different stuff depending on what kind of extension cord you got, and what they're all kind of different. So I got the second one off here. I'm going to pull the casing off, and let's do, so now I have this right here. They're about the same length there. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to expose the copper wires on each of these 7 cables here. So this is kind of one of the more nerve-wracking sections. It's not as nerve-wracking as the solder itself, in my opinion, but it's easy to cut through a lot of the copper. But as long as you have enough of the copper, like if you cut a couple of the copper wires that are inside of these, you're still okay, but you don't want to cut like too much. You want to have enough to be able to thread these back together. So I'm going to have to go through on each one, and I'm going to have to try my best not to cut the copper and get, because these are very, very, very small, like wire. Because basically, I mean, if you're looking at it, the big scheme of things, this is one wire here, and these are 7 subcomponent wires within that wire. and you're gonna need to cut enough of it to tie it together. So let's see. I mean, I'm gonna try to cut one and see if I like where it's at, and kind of show you what I would do. So we're gonna go ahead and take one of the wires here, and you're gonna want to be like really careful, and because if you like just apply a little too much pressure on it, you're gonna cut the wire like it's nothing. It's pretty frail at this point, so you just kind of want to like get a little grip on it, and then just start like pulling to try to get it, like pulling away from the wire to try to get it to come off there. So there, let's see how I did here. I think so. I cut like already. I only have 2 copper wires on this first orange one that I did. I cut through some of the. So I like this is why I would recommend that you have a Miller High Life, or you have a Rollin' Deep, champagne of the beers, living the high life, or you have a nice little beer with you, because this is where it gets kind of painful here. So if that happens and you're like, ah man, like I especially like how that just happened like right off the bat, and I'm just like, well, yeah, I don't want to work like that. So what you can do is you can cut through the rest of the wires as far as you cut that other one down. So I'm gonna cut them all up, chopping them up. And depending on, so that's why you kind of like give yourself some room to play with here, because I still have enough room. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go a little bit deeper here with the big one now. So I'm gonna try to cut off some more of this. This is why you want to give yourself some playroom here. I could have rolled with that. I did have 2 copper wires on there. It's not the end of the world, but that's just a bad start. It's a bad vibe here to the production. The Green Leaf production. Okay. There we go. And kind of look for like if you make this cut here, so like when like I just cut this much off. So when you make that cut, look at the base here and see, okay, with my initial cut, did I expose any of the copper? Because if you cut through and some of the copper wires are touching, that's gonna be bad news when you go to fire it up. Because if any of the copper wires end up crossing, and like when they're exposed, when they're in these like colored casings, still they're not going to be in contact with each other. But when you open them up and you get to the actual copper, and they cross each other, like bad things are going to happen depending on like which ones are crossing, and what that's going to affect. You definitely do not want the 5-volt to be touching any other ones. And you definitely, like, there's some of them that will just go haywire. Like you may like plug in your stuff and then your console like just turns off or something like that, or you may experience like you turn it on and like it's just going haywire, like it's going left, right, down, up, and you just like it's like out of your control or something like that. So yeah. We're gonna try that again. Like I said, be very gentle and kind of twist the wire around, and then go at it at the same spot, but kind of like go at it at a different angle, so you kind of cut through it. You want to be twisting it around to try to like. But yeah, this is the second most stressful part, right behind the soldering itself. So once we get through this, we'll be in a better situation. Okay, so this time I'm a lot happier with that. This is my first one that I cut through. Let's see. It's kind of hard to see because it's an orange cable, but I went to here, and then this part from here to here is the copper itself, which I've exposed. So I'm going to have to do that on all 7 wires on both sides. So like I have to do it with the male and female extensions, and I have to do them on all 7 of them, and I have to try to. I mean, if you only have like one little strip of copper, it's still probably fine. But I mean, the thinner you run on copper, the more likely that you are to have it get untangled or have it just not, you know, make contact with the other copper, and that's not good. So. Okay, we got that one off. So far so good, but that don't mean shit until you get to the end, mates. So. Alright, 3 of 7 down. Four of 7. Five of 7, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, that's funny. I just now like pulled up my chat and I see like Rambly's been in here talking about the Heineken is essential. It really is though. This is a stressful job. This is like this is the second most stressful part about it. But hopefully we can successfully get a sub 30-minute split here. This part's a little bit tedious because you need. Well, on the NES you have 7 wires, so that's kind of a lot. I'm doing a tutorial. Oh, hello. Yeah, there really isn't any videos about this at all. Like when I went to look it up, like video wise, like nobody has anything on making input displays, and I apologize that this is gonna be a gritty video tutorial, but you know, real recognizes real, and you just gotta roll deep. It's not good, man. This green one's giving me problems. Yeah. Primarily, like what I have displayed on the left is actually like the hardest part. Like you need to find that information, and I got it listed. Because you need to have the ground, the clock, the latch, the data, the 5 volt. You need to identify which ones those are, and then it's kind of hard to see what's underneath that, but that's what needs to line up with the board. So it says like ground goes with ground, obviously, and then clock goes to 6, latch goes to, what was that, 3? Give me a sec. I almost got one full. Okay, cool. So yeah, that part is kind of nerve-wracking because if you cut through one of these wires, you're kind of screwed. So I have exposed all 7 of the wires, and I have the copper exposed here at the tip. I don't have, like, you don't want to have like too much, but you want to have enough so that you can tie it together with the other one. So this is the female counterpart. I'm gonna have to do the same with the male. So I'm gonna have to go in and cut all these as well. I want to cut them like ideally, like, 'cause I mean I did a pretty good job here, but ideally you want to cut the same amount of copper on each side, so that way when you run it through the board, they're all. It's not like one's not trying to really reach that far to get to the other one. So this is actually a little bit more precise. You do want to have like, I mean, what is this, like 2 inches? I have about 2 inches. You could probably do about 1 inch and get away with it, or you can go up to 4 inches. Like, it really doesn't matter, but because at the end of the result here, we're going to be cutting the excess copper that we don't need. So I'll get another sip of that Heineken, baby. Oh yeah. What's up, YouTube? Smash that like button. No. I don't really give a shit. Just make your input displays. So that way you're gaming, baby, with some input display. Oh yeah. Streaming big. Making the big bucks. Serving the dilettantes that don't know how to do it. Oh, that one just popped right off. Dude. That one just slid off, baby. Woo! So, some of them are give you more pushback than others. Like that one, like all I did was literally just like tap down and then pull, and it came right off. Like this one, not so much. Okay, there we go. When you get it, you get it. You'll know. You'll see it like start to slide a little bit, and that's the good stuff. Like you want to see that casing slide off of the copper. You don't want to get a full cut, and you don't want to see the. You want to cut through the copper. You want to see it slide like right off of the copper. That's what we're going for. Yeah, I'm like I could edit my videos and stuff. I could get better quality. I do have what is it? I have a video editing software, and I could definitely like pump this up. Like maybe if I'm feeling frisky, I'll do it. I'll make a GameCube one, and I'll make it like with like solid editing or something. Because this is gonna be like kind of like tedious here. But I'm not gonna cut out anything that you have to do. I mean, I think it's important that like you see like start to finish like what happens, like what goes like I don't want to skip anything in this video. So the problem is these cable. There's a one cable that doesn't match up with the other input or the other controller thing from the other thing I had. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna have to pop the other one open. Hmm. This one's giving me some pushback here. It's that bloody brown wire that's. Yeah, this one's like let me see if I can get it like captured on screen, like what's basically happening. So I'm like trying to cut through this, and the copper it's like bent now because like there's a little bit of the casing that's like left over on one side, and this is where it gets really tricky because you're trying to get that casing off, but it's like if you cut a little bit too much, I'm gonna cut the wire. I'm gonna cut the copper here, but you want to just keep pulling. Right there, I got it. Um, and I didn't lose any copper. So I got four. Is that four on this? So I only need the three last one. We're almost there. Oh, we didn't get sub 30 though. We'll get it on the run back. Because I'll have my second beer in me. All because Blunt Bunny needs to have his NES input display so he can play some Mickey Mouse games. Like what? Not even like he's not even gonna play Jekyll and Mr. Hyde like the clearly the high quality NES game titles like Action 52. Maybe that's what I should do when I get this input display rolling. What I should do is like fire up some Action 52 gameplay just to show you how it works on oozing it up. Okay, got the black one off. Got two more. So far, so good. It really sucks if you screw up the last one or two, and this is the last two. So, trying to get this. Okay, last one. Don't fuck it up, mates. It's the damn blue wire, man. Okay, good, good. All right, so that would be a split there. So what I just did was I've got all of the wires exposed, and I stripped all the wires. I exposed the copper, and I did that. The next section, really easy. All you gotta do is take the specific color wires and tie them together. So, right here I have a green and a blue. So you match up the green with the blue on the other, from male to female. So let's see if I can kind of scoot in for it. So I'm going to take the blue because it's on the end here. I'm going to take the blue on the end here. What you want to do is you want to, let's see if I can get it like close up on the camera. What you want to do is you kind of want to make an X here. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to cross the two. You want to make an X. Okay. Once you make the X, you kind of hold it, and then you hold it with one. So I hold it with my left hand here, and I'm gonna take my right hand, and I'm gonna come around, and I'm gonna twist the wires like this. And another thing you really want to do when you're doing this section right here, so if I can get a nice really close up. So the base, so the very, very base, you want to line those two up. So right where the copper is exposed at the very bottom, you want to line it up. That's where you want to kind of make your X. So you want to let's, oh gosh, this is hard to get. I mean, I'm pinching it together. If I would have to remove my finger to kind of show it. So these are the two blue wires. This is the first. I mean, we have to do this on all the wires, but I'm just going to make an example here. So you want to, where the blue is, or whatever color wire you're doing, at the very base of it, you want to line both of them up so that there's no copper beneath it. So just like that, you see how now these blue wires are kind of lined up into a stream, and then you have the copper that's sticking out. You want to line those up, and then you want to twist it, and you want to twist them together like a good few times. You'll feel it, and you'll kind of see it let's see if I can get it'll just look like one thing put together, and you'll notice now when I remove my finger, this wire is if I touch it, they're connected, they're put together. So, but it's one stick. See, all these other ones are all loose and all that. This one, I just tied them together, and I put the base of it right on there like that. So you're gonna want to do that with each wire. It's pretty straightforward. This is the easier step here. So you're just twisting just like I'm doing here, like you're seeing it now on and you want to match them up. You don't want to mix any of these colors. You just want to simply match blue with blue, green with green, orange with orange. If it's red, then match it with red. If it's yellow, match it with yellow. This one's kind of, To be fair, this one is kind of tricky because there's this beige and there's this brown, and that beige, like, that is kind of cancer. Like, they're really close in color, but you want to make sure like it's the right one. Like all the other input displays I've done, I haven't seen anyone that's like that close. Um, like it's basically like two browns almost, but it's like a light brown and a dark brown, or like a beige. It's I would say maybe a beige or tan in a brown, but like it's really close. Like those colors are so similar. But yeah, you're just kind of twisting the wires together like this, matching them up. It's so easy. And then we're gonna get into one of the more exciting steps, but also that's when everything hits the fan. So we'll basically be seeing the input display or not at that point. Okay, so I just twisted the orange ones together. I've got the orange, the tan, and the blue twisted together. You want to get a good solid like twist on these. Like you want to have the ends of these be like very straight, so that when you stick it through the hole, like there's gonna be a very small hole, you're gonna have to stick it through the board. You're gonna want to just get a straight. You're not gonna want the copper wires to get stuck and caught, so you're gonna want to have a really good twist on these. Okay, so we got the yellow and the yellow. Oh yeah! Yeah, I don't know. I don't think watching anime on Twitch is like allowed really, because it's kind of like I think the main issue with it is that like people do quote unquote reaction videos, but all they do is they sit there and they watch the video, and like basically they're using like copyright stuff, and other people are watching because it's like like staple like like you're watching like Pokemon, Dragon Balls, whatever like. So unfortunately, I don't think watching anime is a go. But like, if I own the VHS tape, I don't know. It's kind of like I have the video. So take that. We're putting the green with the green stuff, the green bomber, baby. It'll be interesting to clarify which one's which. We're going to be able to find out when we push it through the board. First things first, when I get this all tied together, I'm going to want to turn on my NES or which other console you're doing your input display, and you're going to want to make sure that everything's like working. So that's what's coming up next. Just a little test. Yeah, it's like a very like there's like a brown, but it's like a purplish brown, but a brown. But I don't really know what to say about this. This one in particular. Yeah, so in this situation, like this wire is a little bit longer than the other one, so this one's got kind of like a little gap in between. Well, it's got like a bubble or whatnot, because like I'm basically trying to get as least amount of copper beneath the. As possible. So. It's the last one, but it's kind of like considering cutting the other one down shorter. Okay, but this would be a split here. I've matched them all up and I've tied them together, so I'll kind of show that off here. Shoot, it is like really hard to get in, and maybe my black pants would be easiest to compare it against here. So you have, the blue with the blue, the orange with the orange, yellow with the yellow, and it's all kind of like there, and it's all kind of like together. So now what I want to do is I want to run a test on it here, and I want to make sure that this works. But the problem is I've got a bunch of wires that are like just kind of chilling, and if any of them touch each other, you're screwed. So what I want to do is like kind of like spread them out like a flower here. So I want to like push that one down, push that one down, push that one over here. Just want to make sure that none of them are touching, kind of like that, how I have it right there, but it's really hard to like. So you see how like I have like them all just kind of like going, but none of them are touching. Let's see how many angles I can, like you see how I kind of like spread it out like that. That's how we're just gonna plug it in, and we're gonna turn on the NES, and we're gonna hope that magic happens. I think I have Zelda 2 in there, so let's fire it up. That's right, I had like a really jank fucking in here. Oh, that's what I got in. I'm not making it easy on myself because I have really bad AV cables for my NES. But yeah, let's swap over to another layout. I guess let's see. This one's good. Okay, so I plugged in my extension cable, and I plugged in my controller, and I plugged in my NES. This is Robo Warrior. It's for the NES, and I'm gonna just make sure that the controller works, that it's plugged into the, which it is, so we're all good to go as far as like start select is working. Looks like this game's got a little bit of an intro, which rolls pretty deep, but we gotta get into it and make sure that I can use the D-pad and the A and B button here. So left, right, down, up is working. The A button's working. So everything is functioning as it should. But I just have exposed wires, and we're gonna get to that. So. Alright, so good. Alright, I mean, I didn't really expect anything differently about it. That's good. So. Oh my god, dude. Oh god. My NES is like the NES. That's what the complication of the NES is. Just the NES itself. Like me plugging in a controller is like it's super sticky in there. Like to get the controller in there, and then like my I don't know what happened, but I can't find my AV cable that I normally use. So I have this like super short AV cable, and then it needs to be like perfectly in there for it to roll up. But yeah. Let's swap back over. So, that's good. We have a working extension cable, and all the wires are there and they're good. And the extension cable works, everything works. So, we need to get into the next step, which is run the wire through the Arduino Nano. And this is where, like I said earlier, you want to have one of these guys opened up and kind of take a look at what wires we're working with. I got an extra extension cable, and I might need to open up the other one to double check here, because I have like no idea. I could go off of this, which is one that's already open, but there is a gray wire on this thing that is like the most important wire, and it's not on the other one, so that is interesting. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my other one, and I'm gonna expose the case. We're gonna go through another step that I was hoping I didn't have to go through, but I guess we're not leaving anything out here. So this is why you get a second extension cable. So here are the other tools you may be needing here. You may need some pliers, which is my go-to. I'm gonna see if this works first. If that doesn't work, then you take out your aggressions and use the hammer, and you want to just like crack this casing open. Like I need to get this thing open, so I got my hammer. Um, we got it. But I'm gonna see if I can just get it by this. So I'm gonna take my second extension cables, which are the same brand. They were right next to me the whole time I got up. This gets exciting. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out what we got going here. Now I can go for the male end of it, or I can go for the female end of it. Scepter. So the female is gonna be, it's like opposite. So I'm looking at it right here. It comes up. So it's gonna be kind of like the opposite. Let's see, from top down. So like here on the male side, you have the pin out on the top, and you have 2, 2, 2. Here you have it kind of like reversed. If that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm trying to point out. You have the pin in on the top, and you have the pin in 2, 2, 2. But this pin, you know, like this pin is gonna go here when it turns around. Like when it, let's see. Hold on. Let me. Take another look at it. And I'll probably keep this one for myself and see if I can get. This is the one I'll try to get. If I have enough time, I'm going to try to get this one to work as well. But yeah, so when this goes into there, it's going to be like that. So like this is going into here, going into there. You're going to want to line up these and these. I can take off either end, but if I take off the male end of it, I'm probably going to ruin. It's going to be an unusable piece, whereas if I take this off, it's going to look like the other one that I have here, and it's just going to be kind of like exposed there, but I don't really care because I can still plug in a male end into that, like just fine, like it plugs in and it functions. Like I don't care that it don't look, you know, pristine, but for my boy Blunt Bunny, I'm not going to wreck his, I'm going to wreck mine. And we're going to see if we can get this casing open, and that'll tell me everything I need to know. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the other thing, like, I don't think I can take the camera downstairs. I may need to take the camera downstairs. I need to take this downstairs and take a hammer to it on my table downstairs. It's going to be very aggressive. I don't even know if I can get... Like, this isn't even gripping around. I'm going to try my needle nose. Pliers. If that doesn't work, I got some options here. We got some options, mates. What I may need to do is just get another AV cable here. I don't know what keeps happening with that. Like, I keep losing AV cables. Yeah, I remember when I did it last time I used the hammer. So I kind of biffed it at the beginning of this video. You're probably going to want to take a hammer to this guy. I just don't have a table to just bang a hammer in here. I can do it over here. Let's see if I can do it. I really don't care. I'm gonna do it on this ledge right here. So I need to take this guy, lay it down, and just Okay, I see it. It's starting to like. There it is. Okay. Let me let me zoom in up and show you what's going on here. The hammer, like, it seems pretty, what is it, ballistic, but it actually works perfectly here. So I just split this, and what's gonna happen is like this is gonna come open, like you want this guy to open up. So I'm just gonna keep pulling, and gosh, I wish I could get. Like, so this casing is just straight up just coming off like this, like boom, like this came off, right, and this came off. I really, actually, I don't need, well, I might as well just take the whole, maybe not, I don't need to have the whole thing, like, I can actually just see the wiring. God, dude, the lighting in my room is so bad. But I've exposed this end, and now I can see. So when I'm plugging in this end of it into here, so it looks like the brown wire is my grounds. I may need to. It's coming off. Okay, so now I need to go based on what's on the left side of my screen here. So the ground is the brown in this situation. Okay, and that is actually going based off of the female. So the clock is going to be, that is, it's still hard for me to see. I can see that so I can see on the left side, which is the right side, so I can see that the blue and like it is kind of like the purple, it's kind of like the brown. So it's actually the tan. Yeah, see, this is why I like the brown and the tan thing screw me up, but the tan is the ground, gosh, my fucking camera spinning around. So yeah, I'm looking at it like just like it is on the top left, and I can see that the top. What I can see is this one right here. This is the tan up on top. I can see that the blue is on the far closest to my finger right here. On the top, the blue, and then it goes green, blue, and like basically like the brownish, purplish, whatever. And so all the other ones are on the other side, and I need to watch out for the 5 volts. And I think the 5 volt is the green. So the green is the 5 volts. The blue is the NA data, and the purple is the NA data. So it's pretty similar to that. It's pretty similar. So this diagram here I have on the top left, that white is my green. There's not a green wire. There's not like a green thing in the photo in the top, but that's what the 5 volt is. So that one I'm just going to want to take some electrical tape to, assuming that these are the same, which it looks like, yeah, because these are all the same colors in here. Yeah, so the green one, I'm going to go ahead and just take some of my electric tape to. I'm not going to need it, so I'm going to go ahead and cut up my thing. I'm gonna put this. Okay. Yeah, the rolling deep hammer, dude. That was something else. So you don't really need that much tape unless it really depends on like how much wire you got. And like at the end, you could probably even cut the wire shorter, the copper shorter than. Because like I didn't know what was what, so I kind of just let. Like, I could probably cut the my green wire down a little bit. And just make sure that it's together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tape on there. So what you want to do with the tape, if I can get it on camera, which is pretty difficult, but for me at least, you're going to want to like lay it down and then just fold it. You're not trying to like do all this fancy stuff. You just want to do like a crease, like, God, I need a camera, man. And then you're just gonna want to keep folding it. Okay. Because I know for a fact if that is the 5-volt, we want that never to be touching the other copper wire. If we want to start, we're going to open with that. So once you got your tape on there, it's going to look, let's see, it's this one right here, this black tape right here. It's just taped off so that none of the copper is exposed, and that one you can kind of just put to the side there. What we got next? So we kind of have, so the ground is the tan one. I need to find out what, so if the blue and the purple one is the NA data, let me take a look at, what is this? D3 and D4. So what they're saying is that data needs to be 4, but in this diagram here it says data. There's data, but then there's NA data, and there's NA data, and there's the clock and the latch. So the latch we know needs to go in 3. Clock needs to go in 6. Data needs to go in 4. Now the D3 and the D4, that is going to be interchangeable. That's something that I need to. Okay, and there's another diagram here that's saying that D3 is that middle one. So D3 for me is going to be the blue, and D4 is going to be the like brown. So there's, yeah, this pin, I actually should probably taken this layout. It's probably not too late. It's so where it says NA data and NA data, the top NA data is actually what's going to be referred to as D3, and the bottom one is going to be D4. Just kind of keep that in mind. Everything else is pretty much on point in that diagram. It's all right. It's just like NA data, NA data. I mean, that's just not really what's going on here. It's data for special controller, data for special controller, which is going to need to go through It's going to need to go through 2 and 5 respectively through the holes. Yeah, this one is definitely like up there challenging. It may not be as bad as the PC Engine one, but it's still pretty rugged. So based on this, the 5-volt is not connected, but everything else, all other 6 need to go through the board. So that's why that's why this one is high difficulty. So all 6. So that green one just stays. That green one's just going to stay electric tape, but that's the only one that you need electric tape on. All the rest of them need to go through the board, and that's what makes this challenging here. Like with the PC Engine, I had like I think it was like 10. I had 10 wires, and 3 of them. No, I had 9 wires, and 3 of them didn't go through the board, and 6 of them went through the board. It was pretty wild. Or was it set? Like I think it was like 7 of them needed to go through the board, and there was 10 wires, and 3 of them I had to tape up. So like this one for the NES, the 5-volt we're gonna tape up. All the other ones we're gonna get through the board. And my green, yeah, it's taped. So it's going down. So the blue one is D3, and D3 goes through hole number 2. So the tan is going to go through ground, the blue is going to go through 2, my brown is going to go through hole 5, and then I need to figure out which one is the clock, which one is the latch, and which one is the data. That's kind of hard for me. Let's see, I'm going to need to get my phone and get my light. Get some more. Light on this thing and try to pull that up the camera. It's really hard to so I can see the yellow. Okay, I probably don't need it. So I can see that the yellow one is the bottom, so the yellow one is gonna be the data for me. Yellow is data. And I need to figure out what. It's definitely looking like black is on top. I'm trying to trace that orange one down, make sure it's in the middle. I mean, it must be if I can clearly see the yellow one going into there, and I can clearly see. I can't really clearly see, but I can see the black. Okay, so worst case scenario, let's see, I'm only missing 2, but it looks like the black one would be the clock, and the orange one is going to be the latch. And they could be the other way around, but it could be the other way around. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this toothpick and try to spread. There's one wire that keeps blocking my sight, and then I'll have this figured out. You're going to have to figure this out based on, I mean, looking at the top left drawing, and then matching that like I did. I opened it up, and I'm trying to look at what color goes where. Because I'm kind of like seeing like a couple of possibilities here. I don't want to take the second half of the casing off, because you can still like connect the other piece to it, and it's still all in line. So it may, like I said, it may, depending on how important it is. Because I can definitely tell the yellow one is the data. Just can't. it's a really close crapshoot here. Because I'm seeing both wires, and they're kind of interlacing there, and I can't see the middle and the back. I can see the top a little bit, but just not enough to like for sure throw down on this theory. Okay, yeah, the orange one is definitely on top. Okay. Which means the orange is the clock, the black is the latch. That one I almost got wrong. I'm pretty sure we're good on it. Okay. So now we kind of get into the really fun step here. You're gonna need to take your Arduino board, and you're gonna need to run the respective lines down there. Now I feel like if I were to take a picture and pull it up, it would be the best. There's two different like sizes. Okay, let me get that light back over here. Maybe. See, and I don't want to like blind. I just want to get enough to where you can see it. So you see how there's holes on the top and there's holes on the bottom. Like these are the ones that we're looking at here. We're only going to need to do one side now. There's going to be one side has a bunch of D's on it. It'll have on the far left it'll have TX1, RXO, RST, and then it'll have ground. And then it has D2, D3, D4, D5, D6. Now you want to have ground, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6. Those are all essential. So those are the holes that we're talking. So when I'm referring to like hole number 2 or hole number 3 or hole number 4, I'm talking about D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 at the bottom of the board, and the ground that's on that side. There's a ground on the other side too, but that side has like AI, A2, A3, A4. Don't worry about that side of the board. Worry about the side that says ground, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 following right after that, and we'll be using those. So in my situation, first of all, I'm going to need to run the ground wire through, which is the tan. So for me, it's going to be the tan wire. Yeah, I wish I could just like... I might get on the ground. I'm not even lying. I'm not even joking. I might just like... get this phone propped up to where I can get some light. So I've got it plugged in. Okay, we got enough battery. Okay, alright. And we have to like... Here. So I'm going to need to run the tan through the ground. So let's grab that guy first. So I've got like the blue wire like running underneath. I don't like that. Where's the blue one need to go? It's like D2, so that one's the one that follows suit. So I'm just gonna pull. Oh gosh, I may want to undo my blues. Actually, it really doesn't matter. So, okay. Alright, Blunt Bunny, this one's for you. We're gonna run the tan through the ground. What you want to do, so okay. So you run it, so you want to have it like super pointy, so because it's what's gonna happen is like if it's not, it's gonna get caught. You want to run it through the back end into the front end, which I can like already see I'm gonna have issues because I didn't like this isn't completely tight. But just tie it up. Let's just twist it around a little bit more, and then run it through the back end. see, because, like, well, let's see if I can get webcam kind of where, like, this is, yeah. Okay. Trying to run that tan wire through. Okay, we got a good. Okay. So when you run the wire through, you want to fold it. Let's see if I can get this in the cam. You want to fold it over one way, and it's gonna look like this. Let me get my webcam over here. And get it in there, because this is like kind of important. So I got the light. Let's. So you see, okay, let me try to get my finger in there. So you see this, so, oh my gosh. Wire on the bottom, like, right, okay, that's my, you see my thumb, right? Right underneath my thumb, so right on top of my thumb, you see that wire, oh gosh. That's folded over, so that way it's not coming out. And I'm just temporarily putting it through the board like so. Oh my gosh, this quality here. Yeah. But this is like, I'm touching the wire here. It's really hard to see, but it's folded over. It's right here. You see? Okay, now I'm wiggling it. You see the one I'm wiggling right here? So that's folded over on top of the board. And I'm going to do that with each respective wire through each respective hole. So that's why I was taking so long, like I was trying to figure out which one goes where. The blue wire for me, which is, so if we're looking on our top left of my screen, so I just did the ground and I ran it through the ground hole on the nano board. I'm going to run the clock through D2, no. I'm gonna roll, so it says, so it says NA data, but there's two of them, but there's the one with like the blue, the second one, the middle one, in the blue, it says NA data. I'm gonna run that, because that is actually D3, D3 is going to go through D2, which is that's what makes it kind of complicated on here on the NES here, because you have something that's called the D3 and running it through a D2 hole. So for me, it's the blue wire. I'm running the blue wire through D2. Which is going to be adjacent to the ground, so if you're going from the back, you'll be able to see. Gosh, I just need more light in my room. Like, this may actually be best if I sit on the ground, which is, so I can see, because okay, I'm officially on my ground. Okay. So that way I get in the light here and I can see it. Fuck, and then the ground comes out. So I gotta stick the ground back through the ground because it came out. So just make sure you fold your wire and just kind of hold everything. Like, I'm just gonna do this step here, like the whole step. I tried to explain my best. It's really, it's not that complicated. It's just like you want to fold it over so that it's temporarily running through the hole, but not permanently. And by the like, it doesn't matter if the coppers are like touching at the moment, but um, when you plug it in and go to turn on the console, you want to have them all separated. Yeah, and that's why like twisting the wire, like just go ahead and like keep twisting them some more until you get them like really straight. Alright, so we got the blue through. So now goes in through the latch. So we determined that the black is the latch. So I'm gonna run my black wire through D3. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is why, like I said, this is why like you want to twist those wires so that it's like a straight point. Like, otherwise, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit like this is. It's a very small hole. You're trying to get it through. Okay, we got it. Okay, that's 3. And the thing is to try to maintain what you did too, because I don't want to do what I did earlier. And so I got So I got the black through 3, which was the latch. Now we want to go to the data, which was yellow. And I'm going to run the yellow one through D4. Alright. Oh, wait a minute, wait, so there's 2... Or did I say the yellow one was the clock? This is why I should have wrote this. Yellow is the one that's on the bottom, so it's the data. Yeah, that yellow is the data. Orange is what the clock is. Okay. Orange. Alright, we got the yellow one through D4. Now D5 needs to be what is on my thing. It says NA whatever, which is D4. It's actually supposed to, like, I don't know. I should have looked into this. Because what it was to say NA data. What that is special controller data, in special controller data, and it's listed here as D3 D4. I don't even know what that like, but I know that D4 goes through D5, which is pretty confusing. This is actually one of the more confusing ones to explain. Like one of the harder. Like NES is not an easy one to do. And then I determined that orange is the clock, and clock is going through 6. So I'm going to have all my wires going through the board except for the 5 volt, and they're all going to be in order, and it's going to look like a congested thing in the back. This actually doesn't look too bad yet. I mean, with all the wires running through the board except for one, it actually like kind of looks semi-clean. And then I'm going to verify that I am correct by turning it on and making sure the input display works. Before I go soldering anything, I'm going to make sure, and I recommend you do so as well. You could just say, okay, yeah, that's what it is, and I'm going to solder my stuff, but then you go to solder it and you put the wrong thing through, it's going to be a pretty big mess. And then my final, so I got everything in there except for this one. This one's getting kind of crunched up. But I'm going to run what I would call the brown wire, which is my clock through 6. It's kind of like a brownish purple. It's really like an odd color, like. Yeah, I want to make sure that all the copper goes through there. Like in this one, like I keep getting caught, and like this little string keeps getting. If that little string is on the other side of the board, it can run into contact with other copper that's on the other side of the board, and then you've got a big problem. Like this part is kind of like a little bit challenging to explain like what's going on, because like when you're running it through that other side of the board, you want to make sure you pull them like all the way through. And so now I can kind of like get you on camera with what I've been doing. That's a thing. Oh my god, it's like either too bright or too fucking dark, man. Let me do that. And get this on the webcam. So I have, oh my gosh, yeah, it's like one or the other. It's like, that's way too dark. I have this running through the back, and all the front I'm like pulling all the copper like this so it doesn't fall out. But it's like almost really good. And then I got that, like obviously the electrical tape thing is like right in the line of view, but so I have this right now. I have all of it running through the board. And I have it pulled to the point where like it's as close to the board, you can kind of see it there, it's as close to the board, so you see like the orange is almost touching, like as the orange one's the one that's kind of sticking out. There's like a purplish brown one to the right of that, and like a blue one to the left of that. It's kind of hard to see, like the orange one and the yellow one like kind of stick out there, and you can see that the orange like casing is almost like flushed up with the board. That's what you want. You want to like pull the copper. Oh my gosh, it's like reverse cameraing. Like, let's see if I can get it. You can see how I'm pulling on this side. You want to pull the copper like as far as you can on that side. So that it's not, because the issue would be on the other end of the spectrum here, like on the other side of the board. If you're not running it as far as you can through it, then you're gonna have copper touching copper on the other side of the board, and that could easily be what your problem is when you're coming into issues. That was what I'm kind of trying to point out. It's like one of the issues that I had was like, oh no, they're touching, but like you didn't pull them all the way through, and they're touching on the back end of thing. So now what I want to do is I want to fold them all over and fold them, or like push them out and like plug it in. I want to plug this into my NES and plug this into my computer at the same time, and I want to test it and make sure that this is the correct thing. And I want to run Retro Spy, and I want to run everything, and we're gonna get it going. Let's go on, Colin. I don't know if he's still here. Yeah, Blunt Bunny. This is all for Blunt Bunny. It's only been an hour and a half. Like, I kind of expect this to be a long project every time I do. The soldering part is going to be like the big thing too. But I just like trying to explain it and do it at the same time here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it into my NES. I'm going to plug in my mini USB into the thing, and then I'm going to separate the cords, and then I'm going to like turn on my thing, and I'm going to make sure that all this works here. And then when you're plugging in your Arduino for the first time, it always like you might need to hold the reset button down, and then hold the reset button down, and then like it may not register what it is at first. So we'll kind of go over that. It's like mine's kind of like beeping because it really doesn't know what to do with itself. So let's see if I can get it all on the computer and kind of go over it, because it's the only way it's going to make any sense. But there, what I did is I plugged it into my NES and I plugged it into my computer. Now I'm going to pull up specific programs here. So one being, I need to something like that may go away. I need to pull up Arduino software, which you can find. You can download. I'm not going to go all into that, but I'll show you what it looks like. Just like Google Arduino. It's taking a minute to load up. Crack a beer, and it's getting cold out, of course. But I need to have the window open, especially when I'm soldering, because get lead. Wow, it's taking a while to load up. What the fuck? Dude, I've never seen it take this long. That should not be happening. Okay, now it came up. I don't know what the fuck to do. Okay, but you need to have your stuff plugged in before you come into this program. Let me pull it up on my screen. I have an older version, so it may not look like this for you. Get around to it. God. So you're going to get a program that looks like this. RetroSpy firmware. You're going to need to download the firmware on there. Actually, you might need to see what's going on in that bottom box because like it gets an error. So it's going to look like that. Okay. You need to go to the Arduino website. You need to go to RetroSpy. Both of them. So you'll download this and you'll get something similar to this. Once you get the firmware on there, it's going to say like properly on there. It's going to say RetroSpy firmware for Arduino, and it's going to look something like this. How this one works is whichever controller you're using, like whatever input display you're using, you're going to want to cancel out the backslashes. So I was using TurboGrafx 16 and I got that all running, so you're going to want to backspace twice, and then you're going to want to go, so this is the NES, so it's right here, and you're going to want to backspace the two there, the two slashes, and it's going to say mode NES, so it's going to know that, okay, this is, we're going to fire up the NES here. And then the first thing you're going to want to do is go up here to tool. I don't know if that's showing up on the screen. Maybe a separate box, but go up to tools and you'll see board. Shoot, I think I need to like do like a screen capture for that, but you're gonna want to go down to port and make sure like whichever USB port that you plugged it into, you'll know it'll say like COM1, COM2, COM3. This is COM3 for me. I select 3 and then I go to processor, and for me I need the old bootloader. I need Atmega 32B, and then board Arduino Nano. I need that, and then what I'm going to need to do now is just hit this check. So once you got all that, and you know that you've got, okay, like it's plugged in, it's picking it up, saying COM3. Go up to this checkbox up here, and hit the check mark here, and it's going to say like compiling sketch. Like I got my fingers crossed. I really hope this works. So it's gonna have that green bar. It's gonna be like compiling sketch. And it should say done right there it says done compiling, and then you want to go over to this. So that was verify. You want to upload. Hit it. Yeah, it'll say the same thing, like compiling sketch and how that green bar. This one, probably take a while on your first time booting up. It may not, though. And hopefully we don't. This is where you would probably get an error if you're gonna get an error. I said done. I said done. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Rambly. All right, then hit that save. And I'll say done saving, and then exit out of that program. So we're good on that. Now we're going to fire up your RetroSpy 6484. And I'll show you what that looks like. Like, I'm not going to show you where to download and do all that. You should be aware of all that. That's like a different video and a different story. Like, there's plenty of places you can go to find that, but this making the input display itself is what we're focusing on. So you're gonna get. Let me capture it. You're gonna get a box that looks like this. So I was just playing on TurboGrafx, so I had TurboGrafx selected. I'm going to pick this drop down. We're doing an NES input display. So we're going to go to Nintendo NES. Up here on the top, we'll see Nintendo NES, and you want to make sure that the same port that you did with Arduino is selected. So COM3, and then we're going to go ahead and hit. I think. See, these are all different skins. This has 3 different skins. We're gonna check this NES controller. I think that's what we're looking for. Yeah, because it looks. Whoa, holy moly! Let's get rid of that. Okay, and then you'll get your input display or not. Capture it. It's up. I just need to pull it down. This is what this one looks like. I don't know. I'm not like a major fan of this like pasty looking thing. So you pull that up. Now it's time to find out if it actually works. So I'm gonna boot up my game. I'm gonna go over to that website. I don't have the input display up on here. Let me get it. There we go. Alright, let's see if it works. Alright. It's not registering anything on the input display. It's not good. The controller's working. Oh, the controller's working just fine. I don't know, this input display skin, I don't know. What the hell? Just kill yourself if you're gonna just make that stuff. Jeez. Okay, there's like a power pad. Okay, so we've got an issue. I'm not sure what happened. because this would be displaying inputs, and that's the whole point of what we're trying to do. So in the bottom right corner, I would have some inputs. Which I do not. So we're having an issue. It's not reading something. But the controller is working just fine. Everything's running through the board. It said data uploaded. It like sounded like everything was good, but it's not. So I'm gonna pull up Arduino again. I'm gonna hit reset on the Arduino board itself. This could be that I'm just running the things through the wrong holes. At worst case scenario. Yeah, this is why you need a beer for this activity, because it's fucking stressful. So I'm rerunning that step again. It could be that the thing is like the wrong thing is selected. It could be that it's like one not be an old nano or something. It could have to like auto format it. But it's weird because it's like saying that it's good. Done uploading. So that was like, it was a really quick. It went like super fast that time. No, it wasn't the second time. I don't know. I'm wondering if. The controller's working. The input display is not working. I think I'm going to go into the skins and take a look. A, B, buttoning 2, buttoning 3. Okay, that's got a lot of buttons. Okay, so up. Okay, alright. A should be a circle. B, so it should be in there. I don't know if there's any other thing. It's kind of weird because it's under the Wii skin, so I don't know if that has anything weird to do with it. I'm not seeing anything coming up here. And I don't like. I'm not sure if because I'm using like a custom like length NES controller, if that's the issue too. What I could try to do is maybe plug in the other NES controller into it and see if that one gives any reading. This is like one of the more hectic games for me to test this out on. Why is it gotta fucking do some shit? God, dude, why? It is like impossible for me to unplug this shit when it's in there. Yeah, cause I. It may just not be the right thing here, cause everything. Board all right. It may the ground may not be the ground. I don't. Fuck, dude. Just go to the bathroom and come back. Go back. Like, I don't know, is that lying to me? I don't know. That's a fucking shady thing to be doing. Yeah, so this is like the major step, because this is like when you find out if it works or not, and it's not working. And so, and I got a couple options what I could do here. I mean, there could be a couple of different issues what we could be having here. So you can figure out what it is. Now, I could run the same wire through a different board in the same layout and see if maybe it's just a bad board, which is a possibility, because anything's possible after the last one I tried to do. There was one hole that wasn't working, and it was the right and up input for the other game, and it could be that one of the major ones isn't working, like the ground isn't working on this board. It could be that like what's this? Okay. Orange is a 5. Orange should be running through 6. Is that what I got? Yeah. Maybe not. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The clock goes through 6? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, it could be that black and the. It could be the black and the. Wait a minute. So right now, I have like the brown one running through 6. And supposedly the orange one should be running through 6. Or the black one. What was. Oh my god, man. What the fuck am I doing? So what did I say the brown one is supposed to be? Like the fucking data or something? Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck is it doing? Okay, so the brown one. Yeah, see, I put the wrong fucking thing through the wrong thing. Of course it's gonna fucking work. Dude, the brown one is D4, and D4 goes through hole 5. And I've got the orange one running. It's like a fucking idiot. So I think let's. See, you make one mistake, and it's over, mates. So what's the yellow one? Good God, dude. This is not what I want. So right now I got the yellow one running through 3. What's 3 supposed to be? The latch. I got the yellow one running through 4, which is data. Okay, so I think if I just make this one swap here, so I pull the orange one out, so I fucking. I think I may know what the issue is here. Yeah, because I ran fucking D5 through what was supposed to be in D5 through D6. So let me do this, and let me try it again. Over my NES, plug it all in again, and yeah, let's see if this. Make sure everything's off. Yeah, that's all it takes. Especially that. If the clock wasn't hitting, then yeah, that's fuck. So I'm pulling up the Arduino software again. I'm going to run the verify, upload, and save in that order. Like I think we're really because it's saying it's good. So I think when it was saying it was good, I think the ground was in there, just the clock wasn't in there, so it wasn't. I'm hoping that was it, because I put the wrong fucking thing to the wrong thing. And that's why I would not solder before, you get things running, because, if I would have soldered that all together and, oh yeah, and then just plug it in and it doesn't work, you spend all that time soldering, getting it all right, no. Alright, fire it up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Rambly, take fucking that, dude. It's working. Let me get it on the screen. Yeah, I put the wrong thing through there. God, that just. Okay, anyway. here's the input display, and it works, baby. Yeah. So the A button's working, the B button's working, the start button's. Ooh. And that is tragedy if you hit yourself. Yeah, everything's working on the input display. That's a success, baby. I had a feeling it was gonna work. Like I had a feeling it was gonna work the first time, but I put the wrong thing through there. Like I'm like, shit, dude. Like, is it a bad board? No, dude. I just fucked up. There we go. So you see the input display. Left, right, down, up, A, B. It's all work. It's all like picking up. It's all working through the game. It's all good. So now the trick is to solder it on there like that. You gotta solder it on there like that to get it to stay for good. Like technically, like that's really all you really need to do to get input display. You don't really need to solder, but like the soldering is just to permanently get that connection on there. Yeah, you see I got the NES controller on my hand, I got the hardware running, and I got it intercepting my inputs onto the input display. Rolling deep, baby! Definitely getting a lot better at making input displays. Just like that last step, it always like it's always a scary step because it's like, okay, it's time to find out what we did wrong or what's not gonna work here. But and all it takes is one. Why? Like sometimes like that. So what might have just happened is like, okay, I'm not getting like the left input or I'm not getting a B input. That's because that one's not running through the correct spot. But it was one of the more important. It was the clock. And I don't know how important D4 is, like the special controller thing is, but yeah. Honestly, that blue kind of looks dope on the input display. I've got my own custom input display stuff for. I mean, I was gonna make an NES input display for myself anyway, so this is cool. I'm gonna try to make a second one. I don't know if I have time to do it tonight though. I can just do that tomorrow in a separate video. But we're gonna go ahead and split because we ran the wires through the holes, and now we just gotta get. Oh, I don't know. These two are These are the same thing. These two splits that I made, kind of silly. Run wire through holes on Arduino Nano, and then get input display functional. It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing. We have input display functional, so we could split there as well. So we're on the solder copper onto Arduino Nano, and then final check to make sure after you solder that it still works. It was all that we had left. So I need to do the solder job. But yeah, that's fucking awesome, dude. Like, rolling deep NES input display, baby! Oh yeah! Do 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 do, drinking a Heineken and rolling deep on my NES, rolling so deep, baby. Take that, blunt bunny. This game, I'm pretty pumped about. This is one of the games that I'm looking forward to having NES input display and running. This game rolls fucking deep. The soundtrack. And then you take one hit of damage and that music goes away though. It's and then like one death and you're done. This is a brutal game, mates. Yeah, just for the soundtrack alone, and the gameplay is pretty, explosive, baby, because you're dropping bombs. Rolling deep, input display. So take that. I got my input display rolling, rolling so deep. I was scared for a second, cause I put the wrong wires through the wrong hole. But now we rolling so deep with my input display, and that world record strategy's coming your way. Cause I just roll way too deep, rolling way too deep with my NES input display Blunt Bunny. So take that, you can take that, Mr. Blunt Bunny. Got that input display, rolling so deep, rolling so deep, rolling so deep, baby. I'm like too pumped about it, like functioning, dude. Cause like, yeah, that's the big step right there, is just getting it to roll. Like now we know we got all the right stuff lined up, but just I gotta solder it, which is kind of that step's a pain in the ass, and you can make a lot of mistakes in that. But we're gonna do it here in a minute. I'm like too pumped about the input display rolling, baby. Woo! Rolling so deep, and Blunt Bunny's gonna get his input display. It's gonna cost him $24, 24 full dollars. Rolling so deep, rolling deep, rolling so deep. I don't give a shit what you charge, cause I'm only charging $24, baby. Dude, why do you just lose health as you play the game, dude? I don't know. This is a speed run that I'm gonna have to get into. I don't know anything about. I don't even think there is a speed run out there for it. It's a Bomber King in Japan, which is I like Bomber King better, but like the Famicom just sucks, dude. You gotta have like a little floppy disk. The like the graphics kind of look a little bit better on the Famicom, and the like the audio is a little bit better on the Famicom, but like goddamn, dude, it like takes forever to boot up a game, and you gotta like flip the disc around. All right, I'm excited about that. Okay, so now we're on to the next step and the most challenging. So what you're gonna need here? Let's flip over the other layout again. I don't know. I don't really need the other thing up as much. So I'm gonna bring out my Rolling Deep 2020 employee benefits guide, which you can tell I've been soldering it up on this thing. And you're gonna need your soldering iron, and you're gonna need probably a glass of water to cool it down with. So I got a little glass of water here. And you're gonna need like a paper towel to wipe off onto. Here it is. So I got my paper towel right here, and I got that, and I got that, and then I have a little stand to rest this on. Looks like that. Like I rested on the end of here, so it doesn't. So it just like rests on there like that, so it don't burn nothing. And then you want to plug it in, heat it up, and you're going to need your electrical wire here, just like that. And what you want to do is you take your electric wire and you're just going to kind of like take the tip of it and you're going to run it on there like that, and you'll get some of that onto the tip of your solder. Don't ever touch your, like, this is going to get hot, okay? Like soldering, like, you could burn yourself. So you're going to get that to drip onto there, and then you're going to take that and you're going to carefully solder the, pull that up onto each hole, and you're gonna, like, before you like go and solder like each one, like pull the wire, the copper wire, all the way through and make sure like it's flushed, and then kind of like flatten it out, and you're gonna want to like match it up with the hole. So this is definitely the hard part. We're gonna go in and see if we can not fuck this up. And you probably want to have the window open. You might want to wear a mask while you do this, because if you inhale lead, it's not good. And if you get it all good, one and done, you won't need any flux. But we'll see. We'll see if we need it or not. So yeah, the plan is to get this done. I don't like I probably could try to rush and see if I can do a second one like really quick. That's up in the air. I probably should just wait till tomorrow to do a second. I do want to make a second one, and it would be cool to have one for myself as well as for my boy Blunt Bunny. So here we go. So I plugged it in, it's heating up. I'm gonna get some of that onto the tip of my soldering iron, which is starting to get on there right now. And then the tricky part, I gotta hold steady and I gotta try to get this. And you don't want, you like, for this specific solder, you do not want a lot of this. You want just a little bit, just a very small amount right on the tip. So I got like a little bit of a like blob there. I'm gonna try to get it. So I'm gonna start with the ground. Okay, I'm gonna unplug it. That was a successful one so far. Let me unplug it. Let me see if I can get it on camera, like what it is that I just did. But it gets trickier and trickier as you go along, because it'll stick to the solder is gonna stick onto the existing stuff that you have, so you got to be even more careful as you go. Here, so let's see. Oh my gosh, yeah. But like I have to literally like get out of my chair so I can like put the light down that I needed to get show this off. Yeah, see, because it's just like dark as hell. So it's this one right here. So where my pinky's like pointing at right here. You see that like gray dot right there, right there. That is soldered onto the board. What you want to do is you want to like wiggle it and make sure that okay, like it's not loose. It's like it is legitimately, and then you also want to like really take a look and make sure it's not touching any of the other holes. So this one is not. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly good on there. And not now, but later we're gonna cut the excess. Oh my god, dude, the black wire is like right where I'm trying to point. So there's like you see okay, you see, there you go. You see this wire right here, this copper. We're just gonna take. I'm gonna take. I use nail clippers, but I'm gonna clip like all the way to here, and so you see. Okay, this is actually a really good angle. Um, so you see that gray dot right there. That's the solder on there. So when I'm wiggling this, it's not moving because it's stuck onto the board and it's on there really good. And that's what you want. That's what you're going for. Sometimes when you do it and you wiggle it, it wiggles with the solder. That means it's not on the board. It's not stuck to the board. So you're gonna need it. That's when the flux comes into play. Which that's like why I mean if it like if everything goes well and it goes like this one right here all the way down the board, I don't need any flux. But you would need flux if you're going to run into an issue where this isn't sticking. You're going to run into another issue where when you go into put the second one, so the second one, so the first one's here, the second one's going to come over here. You're going to run into the issue of it's going to be really tight and really close, and when it if your soldering iron touches this gray dot, it's going to heat up and it's going to stick to the soldering iron, or the other gray dot that you're trying to put on, like the other piece that you're trying to put on there, is going to stick. And if they touch each other, then it's connected together, which is really bad. Like you don't want any of the coppers to cross each other, just like you don't want any of the solder to touch each other. So you want to really try to like it's going to get harder and harder as you go along. This is why this is a like advanced solder job here, because they're all 6 holes next to each other, and there's 6 that run through the wire. So like if I come back and I do a GameCube input display, and like I don't know if my quality is gonna get any better or anything like that, but like if I do an input display for GameCube, you only need to run 2 wires through the board. You run the ground and you run the clock through the board. So like you would run like the ground and the clock on a whole nother hole, like 4 spaces away, and those are the only 2. And the other one, you put the black. Let's see if I can get the camera on. You put the black tape on it, just like I put the black tape on the 5-volt here. That I don't think I had a knife. Like when I want to show it, it doesn't really. But this is the black tape where I'm pointing right here. You put the black tape on the 3rd one, and there's only 3 pin outs, so you would only do that. This is a hard one to do, so hopefully the soldering goes well, and when we plug it back in, and we get a successful solder here. So I'm going to keep going on the other 6, and we'll show you when it's done here. But I'm just going to keep going, keep plugging away. So I unplugged my soldering tool there, and sometimes if it gets really hot, it gets really bad. So like, it is kind of good to go kind of in and out and kind of space it out. You can go in for like all of them at the same time if you feel comfortable with that, but or if you have like a set temperature on your soldering iron, mine just heats up and keeps heating up and gets hotter and hotter. So, but it does have a nice LED light, which is really helpful because my room's really dark. So I'm gonna try to get the other 5 on there, and hopefully it all goes well. And if it does, then we've got a complete product and we can ship it out to Blunt Bunny. But I'd like to make my own NES input display probably tomorrow. Sounds like a good. Yeah, I could try to do. I could try to do 2 of them tonight. That would be a lot of input display action going on. So you want to check the back of the board and kind of look at like how much copper you got on the other side, and just keep pulling on it until like Because if they're touching each other, you're done. It's done. You're gonna have a bad connection there. So I'm going to plug back in my soldering iron and get back in there. And what you can do is, if you feel like your thing's getting dirty, what you do, you dip it in the water, and then you rub it on the towel. I actually got like just the smallest little bit off of the lead, and then it went straight onto the board, so it didn't get stuck on there. But if you're getting it stuck on the board, and then if you get if the lead is sticking to your soldering iron, stick it in the water and it'll go, and then rub it on the paper towel that I pulled out. Sean. Yeah, try not to inhale lead like I'm basically pretty much doing right now. So we got a little bit of a tip on there. I'm gonna try to get it. Honestly, I think that's good. Yeah, these are really close together, and this is like really sketchy. Like I got the second one on there. I got four more to put on there, but they're all like the coppers right next to each other. This is gonna be pretty difficult. I know that. I'm just trying to make sure that on the back end everything's pulled up, because when I do get the solder on there, I don't want it to be a loose copper wire on the back end of things. So I've got everything kind of like spread out here. I guess we're just gonna go for it pretty much. Go for it, man. Pray to the orange Jesus of the solder. Yeah, typical me. I put the wrong fucking thing through the wrong. After I like was going over it like 15 times, like for like what, like spent like 20 minutes like trying to figure out like at least like what I was wanting to put through. Oh god, okay, this is getting sketchy. Unplug and reset there. That one was like a bad piece there. And this is where, like I said, this is where it gets sketchy because it's right. Everything's right in the middle of everything. This is where the stress starts to kick in. That probably would have been good. I had stuff on the solder, but it's getting hard. Like the at least like the one like the first one, it has a far end of it, so like there's a far left. But like once you start getting to these ones, like you got to go in between two copper wires to get it. It's really precise. Like this is one of those things where you probably want to have like I'm sitting here with my knees together trying to hold two cords together to hold it up straight, and then just use one like thing. You probably want to have that second tool that I kind of showed to kind of like rub the solder off of the soldering iron onto the board. You probably want to have it clamped down on a table or something like that, but that's not like I'm not a professional solderer by any means. But as far as like understanding like the first part of it, like I'm pretty familiar with input display making at this point, but it's just like the soldering itself, I'm not a professional. But I did get a better soldering iron, so we're working on it. So now it's just a matter of getting a good solder on each one, which is not going to be easy. And this thing's getting pretty hot pretty quick. Got the far right one. I just went and opted for that one, but the one in the three. So I'm three in, three to go. Three in the middle though. Those are fucking pain in the ass. Yeah, this is the hardest part by like for sure the soldering, and I'm not really getting it on camera really. Maybe that's not good. Fucking weird what's going on, but yeah, it's fucking. Like I'm plugging in my soldering iron, unplugging it, trying to wipe off some of the stuff, plugging it back in, rubbing it up against the. And I really want to make sure I do a good job with this one, because if I'm sending it in the mail, like I'm worried that yeah, I mean some of the solder could come off. So this one, like if it's for myself, like it's not as big of a deal. Like as long as it works, or whatever. But like for this one, like I want to make sure like it's constructed to the point where it's not just gonna like come off. Okay, I'm gonna set this down. I've kind of got it laid out. I don't know if that stuck on some of those. Let me get my tooth. This is where the toothpick comes in, or that other little thing. Looks like this. Look at the flashlight. Oh, I need that. Yeah, I'm always like super stressed about this part because one mistake and it's just a big spiral of fucking mess. Poke at it a little bit and see. Okay, so D3 is good. D4 is a little loose. D6 may be a bit loose. Ground is definitely on there, and D2 is definitely on there, and D3 is definitely on there. So that 1, 2, 3 punch is good. The D4 is not on there, legit. So we're gonna try to get it. D5 has nothing on it. D6. D6 is not great. Like at that point, like we're gonna see if we need flux or not. But everything is good.
up to D4. So D4, D5, D6. That's the last three.
Yeah, it's this part. If I had a really good like top down camera, I don't have that. The only thing I do is I stream video games. I'm not a very good. I mean, like I could edit videos and do all that, but it's too much work. And I definitely do not have like I would need a second person to fucking have a video camera. So we're gonna plug that back in. We're gonna see if with the solder, or with the electrical wire that I have on there, if I can get stick a little better. If not, I'm gonna have to probably. Oh, we'll see. I need to go for more electric. I just have the rosin like built in. I might just throw some flux on it just for the hell of it. Like this part is getting. Stressful activity.
Okay, yeah, D4 is definitely looking like something I could use.
The flux capacity. So let me. It looks like I burnt a little bit of that piece off, which is fine. It just is not gonna stick as easy. So this is where this comes into play. Alright, let's burn it back up, boys. So I just have to stay, like, calm and not get flustered or frustrated at any point, because that's when things get really bad. Yeah, it's so fucking difficult because this is where I came in the same issue when I tried to make the NES input display the first time. It's so hard because you have to get all 6 of. That's the same thing I did on the Turbo Graphics, though, right? Yeah. So like. So got lucky with that one a little bit. This one's like. Actually, I did. I like because they all stuck except for one, and that one I did have to get. That's when I had to get the flux. That's what we have now. But like I didn't have flux, and I was like, oh fuck, I couldn't get the one. I couldn't get the ground wire to stick. All the other ones stuck. This one I got the ground wire right off, but like. Ooh, I think I got it, dude. Oh shit, I think I got all of them to stick, dude. Oh yeah. Oh no. Actually, I think I got all 6 of them. Let's make sure. Let me just confirm after I put the death hazard away of the soldering iron and do it properly. Yeah, because there's solder. Yeah, I got that motherfucker, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that one. Okay, I'm a little bit worried about it, but not entirely. Doesn't really. There's one right smack dab in the middle of the fucking board. So, because that's definitely on there. D5 and D6 are definitely on, like, solid on there. D3 is on there. D2 is on there. D1, your ground is on there. It's the D4 that I'm worried about because it doesn't really. Does it seem like it has the best connection there? I'm gonna see if I can just dip. I'm just. This could be the depth because if I make one like little mistake and I'm right, like it's already just kind of fun. Like this, honestly, like this would be like almost just fine for me. Like I wouldn't even mess with it, but just because I want to make sure it's on there for fucking fun, dude. And I may need to clean some of this off with isopropyl because that's what they usually do. Just run some of that through there. As you can see, that stuff on there for sure. I'm gonna attempt to just drop a little dime of that stuff on there. And then I think we're good. Then it's like basically I'll clean it real quick, and then I will trim the board. Like I could probably rush in a sub 3. I probably could, but like I don't want to rush. I don't want to like take let me speed run this and get a sub 3 hour like tutorial thing. Like I don't care. I'll save these splits maybe and fire it up tomorrow. So I don't want to fire like if it takes me 3 hours. I mean, I imagine I could do it in half the time, but I don't want to spend another hour and a half on this tonight. I could. I could. Just fire it back to back double, baby. Double input. Alright, I need to be extremely careful with this one, so. I find out here. I'm gonna clean it with isopropyl alcohol. Clean that area. Does it look like it stick? The problem is if it stuck together too close to another one. That's what I need to look at. Because the rosin, the rosin, the flux, whatever you want, definitely did its thing, and it's definitely okay. I definitely got a solid connection on there. It looks like right on the money. Okay, yeah, this is like definitely like one of the better ones I've done. The D2 one is like not perfect, but you can tell it's like soldered on there, so it don't matter. Lumbunny's gonna probably be like, "What the fuck, dude? This thing looks all weird, dude." But then he's gonna fire it up. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it fucking works, baby, because it damn right it does. Fucking works perfect." This would definitely be a new record. Actually, this would be a new record on me making it. It usually takes me fucking forever. But I'm getting better at this craft. So, let's get a cotton swab and just kind of wipe it down with isopropyl. That's another thing I didn't really list in there as I dropped my webcam on the floor. Is be careful not to. This is like brand new. 70% isopropyl alcohol. That's good to have with your flux, because the flux can cause like blackening on there, and I just kind of want to like rub it down real quick. Like right around that area where I used it. Okay, and then I have a paper towel right here. I'm gonna wipe it off a little bit. Stuff smells good. It smells like alcohol, baby. Okay, and I'm gonna take an extra tug at each wire just to yep. And now the clipping begins. So I'm gonna get nail clippers. And I'm gonna clip off the excess copper that's not necessary. That's just so it looks. So let's see if I can get it. Get my product onto the camera here. Good God, the lighting in my fucking house. I can't get a good angle that I like. Okay, there. That kind of. Everything's soldered on there. The black wire chilling doesn't need to be. I'm gonna clip off all of this stuff that's sticking out right here. That's what I'm doing. Okay, let me split here and then plug it back in and then give it. Let me see if we're good or not. That honestly, like this is fucking like perfect, dude. Like you don't need to do anything else. That one's a little. There's okay. This one's a little bit close to the other one, so maybe I'll try to clip it just a little bit. I'm just worried that if I clip it too hard, it's gonna like. But it's clearly not touched. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Let's just plug it in. Let's get that success, baby. Yeah, that flux really does help. Like that shit, like fuck, dude. That was a lifesaver. Like right on the hardest part. That's where I like think I got in the problem last time. So we're assuming that everything's legit. Those are like that. Like that's probably the best job I've ever done. Assuming this is working. So if that's all plugged in, I just need to turn it on. Oh yeah. I don't need my hammer anymore. Just make sure the input display is functioning. Do 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 blue. Do 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 Billy. Controller's working. That's a really good sign. Oh yeah, baby, dude, I'm a fucking OG gangster fucking input display maker, baby. We pull it up on the screen. It's soldered on there and it's good and it's rolling. Take that, Blunt Bunny. It's coming. I'm sending it. Look at that. It's working. Oh yeah. A, B, start, select, down, right, left, dude. Oh yeah, Blonde Bonnie, dude, take that in your inbox. Woo! I can split. It checks out. 309, baby. Beat that. No. You probably could easily beat that because I'm sitting here trying to explain it the whole time. So I apologize that it took so long for this video. 3 hours and 9 minutes from when I started the timer, and I did a lot of explaining before that, so it's probably like a 3.5 hour video or something. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of resources out there for this specific thing, so I figured I'd fire up a video. Just like putting stuff away that does not need to be out, like a hammer in the middle of my floor. That does not need to be there. But the beer needs to be in my hand while I rock out to this Jan and tune. I'm gonna send this video Blunt Bunny's way too, and upload the video. That's what I'll do. Yeah, cool. The nano board worked. We didn't need a second one, unlike last time where I got a faulty board that sucked. Where's my? I'm looking for a specific tool. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's trying. I need to close it out with closing thoughts. Um, so I have the one that I use to check, and I'm gonna use this one. Shut up. I love this game in that song, and then it's like, what's with the time? Why are you timed? I need to figure that out about this game, but yeah, this game rules insanely, dude. Just like the input display, baby, you see it on my screen. Oh God, yeah. Like I could spend a day with the input display now and making sure it's all good. I'm pretty hyped about it. I'm pretty hyped about the fact that I can just pretty much just make an input display for any um, console, like any like I like, because that's what I think that's what like pushed me over the hump. There was like I did a TurboGrafx PC Engine input display, which is like nobody has one of those. Like I don't think like. And I made that, and that was like a 10 pin, like that was even more pins than this one, and it has like 3 things taped up and 7 things running through the board. So, and I got that to roll. So, yeah, and now we got the NES. The NES one's pretty tricky too. It was not like an easy thing, but I'm happy with the finished product here. Like this is why I do this. Like this is why I'm like so excited about it. Like because now it's like okay, I'm playing my game, I'm streaming it, and you can see like what I'm doing with my controller here. So when I go for like serious gameplay videos, I got my input display, which is a major thing, especially when you're doing like when you're trying to explain stuff. I mean, I'm a lot better when I got this layout right here, where I got my input display, my gameplay rolling, my timer up, and we're firing it up, we're sparking it up. The like webcam thing, I'm not the best at, but it's all good. So I'll come back with another video, I think, and I'll work on. Let me go back to the other. Let me bomb myself and get the music again. Yeah. So I'm gonna. So the this one right here, I just put the back cap on. I mean, this can come off at any time. It just kind of comes off now, like after I hammered the shit out of it. But you don't need this little casing thing, because you can just plug in to there. And I'm gonna make an input display for myself with this one. And that kind of like, because I've had like this. Blunt Bunny's been wanting me to do this for like over a year now, and it's like he hasn't really pushed me to do it. And it's like all you need to do is just be like, yeah, man, I need that. And like I got you, man. But like the other one I tried to do was just sitting over here. I burned the board, and then like it's sitting like right here. that one I tried to do like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago or something, and like I got so pissed that with the soldering job, like that's why I said I needed to stay calm here and stay like focused, because like I got pissed because it was having the same issue that Blunt Bunny was having, and like it was just like not registering inputs correctly and all this other stuff. And then I like ripped these all out of here, and they're just kind of like chilling on here. I'm probably just gonna throw this one away because the board has solder that's on it, and I can't get it back through D3. It's all fucked. And the other one's all fucked. And then these two boards just sitting up. I don't know if these are good or not. I have two Arduino boards just chilling here. This one's got like a black hole in it, and that one's got all kinds. This one may be functional, but like I would need to use the flux to get anything to stick on that. So I don't even know. I may just throw all that away and just get all new. Like just start fresh, cause like I got blocked on this last time, and I almost like I mean we came up with one issue, but I kind of like troubleshot that issue, so that's good that you kind of got to see like, oh, you stick it through the wrong hole, like you are gonna get a major issue. But like I'm gonna come back with another video. Maybe it'll be a lot shorter. Like maybe like I can get this in an hour or something. I'll just pound it right out or something and try to get an input display, an NES input display for me. This is for my friend Blunt Bunnies, and then I think it'd be best if I did a game, because I'm actually gonna do a GameCube. I have one that works for me. I have a GameCube input display. It works just fine, but I'm gonna make another one for my friend, and maybe I'll like do that one. That would be like a beginner level one. The NES one is like advanced level. I guess it's like really hard to make an input display. So those are my closing thoughts. I'm gonna put this to the side, and I'll probably try to do it tomorrow if I have enough energy. I'm pretty pumped that we got that like one and done, and I like my skills of making input displays have just gotten like way better. So I'm pretty happy about all that. So I just need to do that. I got 2 more boards. I should have like a stack of like, I think I ordered like 10 Arduino board or something like that, at least 6. So I got boards that are coming. So I have enough right now to do those 2, like the NES and the GameCube one. And then with the new ones that are coming in, God, dude, this beeping is so fucking annoying with this game. Just bond myself, go. I love the theme song, and then just like, what the hell am I doing? So, yeah, I'm gonna make NES one tomorrow probably, or within the week. I want to like at closing thoughts. I want to just kind of like play this game for a little bit, just to show you that the input display is working, like a little bit more. But yeah, like, cause it could just be like, oh, it's working now, and then one little cord, like what could happen is like one little cord goes loose, and then you're kind of screwed. But I'm so pumped. Like I think my soldering job was so good. The main question is, can I ship this through the mail and have it just stand up and be fine? I think like it looks good to me. But like, are they gonna mishandle it in the mail and like screw it? Because I'm sending this out to Blunt Bunny. But yeah, like this shit rolls, man. Yeah, so I guess you just like pick up energy there. I didn't know it was timed until like I didn't even know that until now. Like, it's fucked. I need to get a new AV cable for my NES though. Because it's like already jank. Like it took me a while to get that. So that took some time out of this project. I had to like get it in the perfect position. But yeah, the input display is just fucking immaculate, baby. Yeah. This is Blunt Bunny's input display, baby. So yeah, I'm gonna get that. So hopefully, yeah, the GameCube one. Hopefully, I can actually do really soon too, because I like then I can just ship it all out in one go. Because I gotta do I gotta return something that didn't work. I gotta return a PC Engine game that did not work. The guy sent out one that just doesn't work, and then I gotta send this out to Blunt Bunny, and then I can send the other GameCube input display out. I want to make a PlayStation 2 input display for a friend that came in here and chat a minute ago, Colin. Hopefully I can get a PlayStation 2 input display out to him and see if he needs like any other input display. Like I don't know. Like I'm actually pretty pumped about making input displays. If you run out of bombs, like what do? Do you just like time out? This is okay. This game, yeah, this game is brutal. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I don't. I apologize if the video is so long. Like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna try to make like a under an hour like inputs. That's my goal. Like I've made splits. Let's run up against these splits and make a second NES input display. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, good luck with making input displays. Roll deep, my sons. Stay fresh. Hold it down. And just keep it rolling, baby. Oh yeah. Green Bomber bombing a King Bomber King. Oh yeah.